Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are discussing the 10 worst corners on iRacing. This is a collection of some of my least favorite corners to drive. The parameters that I set were, are they awkward to drive? Are they paired with bad corners before and after? Are they too hard to race on? And are they just straight up uncomfortable? So we're going to take a look at the 10 worst corners there are on iRacing. It should be exciting. Let me know in the comments below throughout the video if you agree with my choices. Just keep in mind, I don't own all of the content on iRacing, so there may be 2 or 3 corners that I've missed here and there, but I own pretty much 90% of the road courses. So these were the ones that I selected, and there's some pretty bad ones in there that I hate driving every single time. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at them. Let's jump right into it because there's some pretty bad ones in here. Let's go. All right, so starting us off, we have the Indy road course with turns 12 and 13. This is a tricky part of the track, and it is really hard to race on. It is just very awkward. You have the quick right-hander into a quick left-hander, and especially in multi-class racing, because of the pit lane entrance, you'll see here in a second, that's at the exit of turn, what is that? Turn 13. It's just so easy to run into people. I've been punted on that pit lane entry about 3 or 4 times, I think, of my iRacing career. It is just a very awkward corner, especially the high speed while turning and braking. It's just not smooth to go through. Really don't like this one. Let's move on to the next. We have Road America turn 6. So this may be a surprise, but I really don't like this corner, and I think it's just because of the fact that it's uphill, it's off camber, it's kind of tough to maneuver around. You can't really race anyone side by side, and the worst part about it is that it's right after a corner where there's a lot of overtaking done, so there's usually close racing through here, and it's just impossible to run door to door with somebody through here. It's so easy to get a touch to the side and end up wide, or on the inside get tagged and spin. It's just a very awkward corner to maneuver through. You have to brake so early and be just so patient on the throttle coming out of this corner, and yeah, I just don't like this one, and it's just tough. The next one might honestly be a surprise as well, and this is Donington. This is turns 11 and 12 here, the final sector of Donington, and it's just the 2 hairpins, but honestly the reason I don't like these is it's the size of the hairpins. They're just really narrow and small. It's not the best to race side to side with somebody, but what I really don't like about this is the race starts. When it's a safety car start and you're behind the pace car and you're double file, it is so easy for somebody to make a mistake on the inside on cold tires and end up drifting out wide and taking out the whole field. That's happened to me like 2 or 3 times in my whole time on iRacing, and it's just a really awkward corner, especially the first one here, turn 11. The braking is weird, and it's just such a sharp corner in a GT3 car like this, but honestly in any type of car, it's just a weird corner. I don't really like that, and also the fact that it's 2 hairpins back to back like this, it just plays out a little weird. It's very strange to maneuver around this configuration, and I'm just not the biggest fan of it. All right, so here we go. This is one I really don't like. I just absolutely despise this track. This is VIR, Virginia International Raceway, and this is the Oak Tree turn. I think it's turn 12. That's what it says right there. This is just a really tough corner, and I don't really have an explanation for you as to why I don't like this corner, but I think one of the main problems with this track is that there's just not a lot of markers on the side of the track to gauge your visuals on and have like braking points and stuff like that besides those little signs there, but there's just nothing to reference off of on this track. It's just a big open field, and I really don't like that. It makes it very difficult to drive on, and yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of this track. I always skip it. And of course, it wouldn't be this type of video without the Zolder chicanes, right? These are just absolute death chicanes here on this track. Both of them. You have the first one here and then the one at the bottom of the hill. These are just absolutely terrible chicanes. I don't know what they were thinking when they put these in. It is so hard to get this right and so easy to get a slowdown or an off track, and it just feels impossible to get this done right. And it doesn't matter how many times you do it, you always feel like you have time on this track because of those chicanes. It's just impossible to nail those chicanes. Honorable mention for this one too. This one's a little bit better because it's more more satisfying when you get it right, but it's difficult to spot that breaking point. So this one's kind of an oddball. This is Montreal turn 13, and this is another chicane here, and I just really don't like this corner on this track. I find it very difficult and very awkward to race through here, and it's just not that satisfying of a turn, especially because there's those giant sausage curbs on the inside. Makes it very easy to get things wrong, and you don't have any room on the exit. The wall is right there, so you've got to get right up next to it and basically scrape your mirror against the wall as you're exiting this corner. And yeah, I just find it very strange to race on. I don't really like the angle of what the chicanes are at. It's just very weird to maneuver around, and I'm just not the biggest fan of this chicane on this track. And actually, surprisingly, I prefer the champion chicane at the start-finish line over this one. So next, moving to France, we have Magny Cours. I'm not sure exactly how you say it, but we have the start-finish chicane, and I don't really like this one because of the pit entrance right there, and then it's just the fact that this is on the start-finish straight. When you're doing a race start here, that's safety car, or behind the pace car, it's just very difficult, especially everybody's got to go through single file here. Very easy to spin if you touch that left one, and pretty easy to get an off track if you take too much of the chicane as well. And yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of it. It just kind of seems unnecessary. Like, they should have just have this been a straight onto the main straight here, so I don't know why they chose to do a chicane there. And yeah, it's just kind of an overcomplication of the configuration there. I'm just not the biggest fan of that one. All right, now we're getting into the juicy stuff here. This is COTA turn 16, and this is the beginning of the third sector here with this corner. Yeah, it's just awkward. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. You can't, like, you can overtake people here and you can race with them, but the outside is so difficult to make anything stick, and you have to run out there in order to hit that apex that I just hit there. So it's just really, really tough to get through here in one piece, especially if you're racing side to side with somebody, since you need to run that outside. If you're on the inside, there's just no grip, and then you have no room to turn in or anything like that. And if you're on the outside, you end up on the curbs with that green carpet on the outside, and you just start sliding, and you'll never make your way to the apex. So that's why I think it's a really difficult corner. Not the biggest fan, which is a shame because it's got a great set of corners after it. So it's kind of bad set of corners into a good set of corners. So yeah, it's kind of tough. Not much you can do there. Next, we have one corner that I absolutely despise. That's why it's on this list at number 2, and that is Okayama turn 6. This is a downhill left-hander that is off camber with no room on the exit. It's just gravel on the exit, and it's right after a hairpin. Just the absolute combination from hell there. It is just so bad. I hate this corner so much. There is just always time in this lap because of this corner for me, and it's just terrible to race at. You cannot race somebody side by side here. Like, you get punted off 100% of the time, and it's just awkward to maneuver through. It just never feels good in any car. There's no markers on the side of the track to choose a turn-in point, which I really don't like about it, and that's one of the main factors. So yeah, that's why I don't like this. You can see here as we go to the car cam, you can see on that right side, there's just no markers there. There's no way to decipher your turn-in point. You kind of just have to guess with muscle memory, and that's what I really don't like about it. There's not even a dirt patch on the side that you can look at. Really, really tough. You can see there, if you just look, like, there's just nothing there for you to choose, and that's why I really don't like this corner. It's hard to get it right every single time. You kind of get a different result every time with that corner. Not to mention these terrible hairpins that are at the end as well. And here we are about to conclude this video now with the worst track of all time, Fuji Speedway. Honestly, the first and second sector are not that bad, but this third sector, what on earth were they thinking when they built this? This is one of the worst driving pieces of a circuit I've ever been on. I have many hours on this track, and I just can never understand how to drive this set of corners. I just really don't like this configuration, and it's impossible to race people here. You literally cannot race somebody in this section of the track, which makes it so hard to overtake, and it's the worst part about it is it's crucial, right? It's crucial that you get this right for the speed on the long straight. But it just feels like the best way to explain it is that kid in high school that tries way too hard to be cool. It's just that set of corners that tries way too hard to be technical and it ends up ruining the whole lap. It just makes it so clumsy and awkward and heavy to move through. The car just starts sliding around all over the place. TC activates and it's just terrible. It's just not a fun piece of track to drive at all. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have joined lately. If you agree with my takes, let me know in the comments below. If you have any corners that I may have missed, let me know. Maybe we'll do a part 2 of this video. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has joined the channel recently, and I'm looking forward to starting season 1 with you guys here soon. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.